여보세요?
So KBL series Love for Love's Sake has just released its last episode yesterday, and I must tell you, this series hit me very differently from other KBLs. So in this video, I want to do a review of the series. So especially for the last episode, it can be a bit confusing, so I'm giving my personal input on what I interpret the ending to be. So this entire series of 8 episodes started with our protagonist, Tae Meng-ha, being brought into a virtual world where he was supposed to make another protagonist, Cha Yo-woon, happy. And he had 300 days to do it. So this is one of those series whereby it is very intriguing at first, and when you were watching it, you want to start to imagine what would happen in the final episode or what the ending would be like. And in my case, I was totally taken aback. The 8th episode, the last episode, the finale was really epic, because it was then that I realized that the entire story is not about Cha Yo-woon at all. It centers around Tae Meng-ha. This is a very poor, pathetic protagonist that at the end of the entire series, you want to really empathize and sympathize. So what really happened between the 7th and the 8th episode can be a bit confusing, but how I interpreted it was that Meng-ha was unable to accomplish his mission. He was unable to make Yo-woon happy. Even when he was in a relationship with Yo-woon, the entire romance is very underwhelming. So during the 5th and 6th episode, they were already in a relationship, and I was thinking this is so not KBL because it's so underwhelming. It's not romantic at all. They are just holding hands, but there is a barrier between the two of them. But this is really understandable because the protagonist, Meng-ha, was built this way. In real life, he was unable to love, and that was the reason why his girlfriend actually dumped him. So in that regard, I can really accept the lack of romance, especially in the middle of the KBL. So spoiler alert, what was really shocking was that I didn't expect that actually Meng-ha has already died in the real world. So what this means is that right at the beginning at episode 1, he has already committed suicide in his real world dimension. And he is just brought into this digital virtual dimension for a second chance, in which he failed again. For not having completed his mission, Meng-ha had to face a death penalty. And in that virtual digital space, death is symbolized by being erased. So all his traces were erased, and he no longer existed in that dimension. Even though memories could be erased, traces of love cannot be erased. The love for Yo-woon is so strong for Meng-ha that actually he still remembers that there is such a person. And because of that, there is salvation. So I really like this idea. The entire series hits me in a very strange way because it is more philosophical than romantic. So the entire series is very valid in the sense that there are many Meng-has around. We are all very unhappy with our life, and we wish that there would be someone to save us. But the actual salvation, according to this, is that we can write our ending. And the way to do it is that we can sacrifice ourselves, we sacrifice our own happiness for somebody else's happiness, and that will in turn make us really happy. So after watching the entire series, I was a bit sad because although there was literally a happy ending, but what caught me was that Meng-ha doesn't exist in the real world anymore because he has already died. But at least he's happy in another dimension. So what is your take on this KBL series?